caveat, I read, not preach, so.
Me too.
Work on this. When I jumped in head first to this, I acknowledged that I have 68 days to prove that I could better represent this valley than my opponent. I exploded into the mix by openly speaking on cannabis and the disgust that my opponent handled of the CBD oil bill. I wanted to prove that I had no fear standing up to the establishment. I wanted to quickly assure voters that I'm willing to talk about the so-called tough topics. That being said, I realize this may be my last opportunity to speak to you as a volunteer. My parents taught me to leave it all on the field. This is what I'll strive for before re-election time. A true standard ground law protecting citizens and their right to defend themselves, their property, and other citizens. Clear trespass laws requiring accountability from both landowners and the public. We need to maintain and strengthen police to public relationships, and I'd like Idaho to lead the charge on how we treat our veterans. Just because their service is over does not mean our duty subsides. We as a state need to have an honest, open, factual discussion on overturning cannabis prohibition. We have DOJ statistics on states that have gone before us. Let's view the aftermath towards their social and economic statistics. We need to seriously discuss THC-free medicine, industrialized hemp production, and the decriminalization or legalization of cannabis. It's a proven source of voluntary government revenue, it's a proven source of health benefits, and it's a pulled fact that 52% of adults have consumed this plant in their lifetime. Education needs to be put in the hands of those closely affected by it. Teachers and parents should be deciding how our youth enter into the real world and aid in society's growth. We should be encouraging our children to seek a career and offer high schoolers more certification and technical training opportunities. Let's give teeth to our federal gun control nullification laws. I would go as far as testifying for any Idahoans federal court case if prosecuted if they're abiding by Idaho state law. We need to prosecute federal entities that do not respect the Constitution and state sovereignty. That being said, we need to provide protections for our constitutional groups standing up for American rights. There's no way someone upholding the Constitution should live in fear of persecution. I stand to testify for that freedom as well. We, the people of Idaho, must make our voices heard. We can send a strong message not only to our state, but to all of America, that a hard-working, handsomely bearded fellow with nothing more than a few $100 and an open ear can compete at any level to represent who we are as Americans. Let your voice ring. May 15th, Jay Waters III. The 3 stands for we. Thank you. Any questions?
Would you have supported the trespass bill that passed through the House and Senate and was signed by the governor this year?
No.
Why?
I don't think it held landowners accountable enough. In the requirements for making sure everything's posted and everything. As far as my family goes, we have a 1,700 acre ranch in Elmo, Idaho. My grandpa's over 70 years old. He gets out and busts his butt and makes sure everything's posted, so he can say, you're not allowed to come on our land. We need that from landowners, and I didn't feel that it had enough accountability in that aspect.
What would you do different?
Just make sure that both sides are accountable, as far as making sure we have the proper requirements for landowners and public. You always see people riding up to people on public land saying, I'm going to call the cops on you for trespassing because my cows are out here, and nobody should have a question on trespassing. I do a lot of hunting and stuff. I've been hunting all my life. I still have a lot of questions on what's trespassing. We need something that everybody, we shouldn't have to rely on a judge to determine if that follows under the law or not. We should have a judge, prove if you're guilty of trespass or not, And everybody should know the difference between what's trespass and what's public right away. That's how I feel on it. Go ahead.
When you're done, talk to me, because I've had nothing but problems with trespassers.
Okay.
People cut fences, people
I'd love to.
shooting our dogs.
Yeah,
Just
I'd love to sit
waste
and
your opinion on that.
And I would stand up for any landowner just as much as I would stand up for any sportsman or person that's out recreating. You know, we need to figure it out. Our people don't need to be bickering on these little things. Let's get things that both sides understand. And this is the law. If you break the law, you broke the law. If you're not breaking the law, you didn't break the law, and all the parties understand what the law is.
So how do you feel about, for example, trespassing is a $25 to $50 fine at this time?
$25.50?
$25 to $50.
Oh, nice. Yeah. What does that do for?
What does that do?
How does that protect any landowner? I mean, I could trespass every day and afford the ticket,
Exactly.
you know, and we need to, repeat offenders need to be prosecuted harder than first-time offenders. And I know people make mistakes, and that's what's up for the judge to decide. The judge is to decide, was this mistakenly, or were you actually breaking the law that you understand?
Well, I feel when it's clearly posted,
Mhm.
marked, if you cross that line, you're trespassing, you're committing a
Exactly,
crime.
yes. And if you've been told by the landowner to leave.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, and you know, people going on other people's property need to be as accountable as those trying to keep them off. Because I know a lot of farmers that they don't even bother posting because they don't care. Go hunt on their land, they don't care. If you don't want somebody on your land, you need to post it. If someone crosses that boundary, knowingly seeing you're not supposed to be past this boundary, then you know you should be breaking the law and you should be prosecuted. Welcome. Any other? Cool. Well, I appreciate your guys' time. May 15th, 3, J Waters 3. Thank you.